Hey everyone, SW Nation here, and welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here in the channel. I'd like to stop and take the time to rank all 10 episodes of the Skybound season of Ninjago. Kicking off my list at number 10 has got to go to episode 4, Misfortune Rising. Let's just go down the list of problems with this entire episode. Number 1, Jay is adopted. It's a cool, interesting concept. You're going to hear me say that a lot inside of this video, but does it really need to be here? I mean, that whole little storyline is just a one-off, because this season doesn't even exist inside of the canon of Ninjago, really. Now, that's number 1. Number 2, Jay is broke. Jay should not be broke because he was the host of a TV show. You remember that? Season 4, he was the host of a TV show. That's where Lloyd found him at. He should be getting royalties if that show is still on the air. So he shouldn't be broke. That's number 2. Number 3, Kai is dumb. He leaves his teammate Jay behind so then he can go get the lantern by himself. So that means he left his teammate by himself. That means the Jinn can get to them, right? Yeah, so that's number 3 with Kai. Let's go to number 4. So with number 4, Kai saying, I'm just itching to get back into action. You guys just broke out of prison. You really want to risk getting back into action when you guys just broke out of prison? Oh yeah, why is Nia taking off her hood in the middle of a battle? You guys just broke out of prison. And then going back to Kai, you're the one who was saying, let's just go stop by Lil Nelson while Klaus is getting away. Kai basically just ruined this whole episode for me because he just made some really dumb decisions, and especially including his wishes. So Kai just made this episode not that good for me. And Nia, she was the worst part of this season, but she was at least tolerable inside of this episode. Kai was just not at all good. Coming in at number 9 for me has got to go to episode 7, Wishmasters. Another episode that unfortunately was dumb. I mean, the ninja are just so dumb inside of this entire season, except for Jay and a little bit of Lloyd. But even inside of this episode, Lloyd just became annoying to me. I mean, the pirate jokes. This episode has lame pirate jokes. They break the fourth wall a bit. And then they also have the ninja do ridiculous wishes. I mean, they literally waste their wishes on purpose. It's literally 10 wishes among the 4 of them, Jay, Lloyd, Cole, and Nia, and you're telling me all 9 got wasted by accident? I mean, Cole's wish, yeah, that was interesting. That was great. Venstone, make our power stronger. That's great. That held them off for a little bit longer, and then they broke off the chains. Only Lloyd's 2 last wishes were actually good. He wished that he was wise like Sensei Wu. And then he asked for a sword, which then in turns let Nia and Jay escape in time. But overall, their wishes, their wish-making was not at all that good. The fourth wall breaking, bringing in the ghosts, and actually teasing Dale the Departed, the worst thing to come out of Ninjago. Not by a lot, but the worst thing to come out of Ninjago. This episode just was all over the place, and it really did not do the show any good. Except for showing us this first fusion dragon between lightning and water, which was very cool. I really liked that. But overall, their wish-making skills sucked. Coming in at number 8 for me has got to go to episode 1, Infamous. Now, there's a lot to enjoy about Infamous. There's also a lot of problems about it. For number 1, the ninjas are publicized. Now, I get it. You know, they saved Styx from the Preeminent. Nia drowned the Preeminent. That's cool and all. But they've been saving Ninjago City for 4 to 5 years. I mean, Lloyd defeated the Overlord. I mean, Zane defeated the Golden Master. They've been saving Ninjago City for a lot longer. So I don't get why they're just now being publicized. But I mean, hey, you know what? I think that it's an interesting concept. I love the fact that they're famous now. But Kai, the fame does go to his head, which makes him annoying. And I really did not like him in this season. I say the famous stuff is great. I say that the stuff when they're getting framed, come on, like, the citizens should honestly know that this stuff could have been hacked or tinkered with, because in season 3 y'all saw floating cars and robots helping out inside of the streets. Like, literally robots were walking around the streets. So you guys seen technological advancements like this, you guys can tell that if something was tinkered or not. And also, Nia just gets on my nerves inside of this season, and also inside of this episode. There's only a couple of episodes where she doesn't get on my nerves, but every other episode inside of this season, she just gets on my nerves because she feels as though she has to be this feminist. She feels as though she's been on the team for a long time, and you only did 1 save. That's it. So don't try to think that you're this big player on the team, because honestly, water is not even that powerful. So Nia just nags this entire episode, and it honestly gets aggravating. She literally got them spotted because she didn't want to take Jay's hand. How petty is that? Coming in at number 7 for me has got to go to episode 5, A Wish and a Prayer. I find the only thing interesting about this episode is the fact that Zane gets captured, which is stupid. How? He's a ninja. He's the smartest person on our team. But what really makes me interested in this episode is the fact that Nadakhan was able to outsmart our smartest person on the team, which is very cool to me, which makes him one of the most smartest villains out there in Ninjago. That's why he's number 4. That's why he's number 5 on my list. Not number 4. Chin is number 4. But yeah, I kind of forgot the ranking. But yeah, number 5 on my list. But all in all, everything that's not regarding the Zane and Nadakhan stuff just feels like a run-of-the-mill throwaway episode of this season. But they do get the Tiger Widow venom, though. Well, Jay does. Because Nia forces him to. Coming in at number 6 for me has got to go to episode 6, My Dinner with Nadakhan. This episode just made me love Jay. I really love Jay inside of this episode. The way that the entire squad of Sky Pirates try to break Jay, try to make him use his wish, trying to break him under pressure, and physically break him when they're doing scrap and tap. I really love Jay just taking it like a champ. Like, literally, Jay was always the scaredy cat of the team. Like, he was always the high pitcher scream. He always ran away from fights and stuff. He honestly felt like he was the weakest of the team. But this episode made me think that, well, maybe Jay is not the weakest of the team. Maybe Jay can hold his own against an entire team of Sky Pirates or an entire army. And yeah, that's exactly what he did. He may have not defeated them, but he took those beatings like a champ inside of this episode, and it worked. We also get a little bit more backstory on Nadakhan and why he wants to marry Nia or Delara as he thinks. So the whole reason why Nadakhan wants to marry Delara is so he can have infinite wishes. It's kind of weird that he would just tell Jay this. But yeah, I mean, this overall episode I really enjoyed. Mainly the stuff with Jay, not the stuff with Nia, Cole, and Lloyd. That stuff to me, Lloyd and Cole throughout this entire season acted dumb. And also Nia, she was still naggy in the season. At this point in the season. So yeah, I was not a big fan of their arc, but everything that's going on with Jay and Nadakhan on the Sky Pirate ships and everything like that, scrap and tap, him not breaking under pressure, all of that worked and made me love Jay a lot more. Real quick, before I get into my top 5 list, I'd like to take the time to say that if you are a fan of Ninjago, which you probably are, that's why you're watching this video, click that playlist up above for everything Ninjago related that I have on my channel. Also, if you are a fan of the DCEU, I am doing a DCEU rewatch on my podcast. And also, if you are a fan of the MCU, I am going to be doing a 31 on 31, so join me on December 31st, where I will be ranking all MCU films and DCEU films minus Wonder Woman 84. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into my top 5. Kicking off my top 5 list has got to go to episode 3, Encrypted. I really enjoyed this episode for a number of reasons. It's mainly because the concept is interesting. Again, like another one of these episodes on this list. Mainly because the ninjas are inside of prison, while the villain is outside. They're inside with the villains that they placed inside of prison. So I really enjoy that storyline. But then it gets undone by the end of the episode. Like, literally, I have it at number 5, yeah, because it's interesting, and also I like the fact that we get to see the ninja inside of prison, and they have to break out, which is very cool. Also, the little breakout sequence, that's very cool, but it's all in a montage. But it's in a Shawshank Redemption type of way. But I just think that, wow, this storyline could have went a long way. This should have been the first 4 to 5 episodes of the season, then the last 5 episodes. I don't know, man. But I feel like either this should have been majority of the season or this should have been its own season. But I would have loved to see the ninjas inside of prison and they have to find a way to break out. And I don't know, man. They could have made it work, but at the same time, I get it. They got to keep the story forward. But wow, this storyline was just so good. This storyline was so interesting. The concept was great. It could have been this could have been a really great season. But also, we get a great backstory for Nadakhan with Ninjago falling around him because of that big victory that we had at the end of season 5 with Nia drowning the preeminent. Everyone was celebrating, but there are consequences to that, and that's what I really like about the show is that the protagonist, yeah, we celebrate it, but what about the other realms? So the other realms fall because of the cursed realm falling, which creates a great big consequence for this entire show. Coming in at number 4 for me has got to go to episode 2, Public Enemy number 1. Like I keep saying, it's an interesting concept because I love the fact that the ninjas are being hunted by Ronin. It does not make any sense that he was able to take down Lloyd or the other elemental masters for that matter, because he's not an elemental master. They could have easily defeated Ronin, but I mean, you know what? I really like this episode because it's just Ronin hunting the ninja for money, like an old western bounty hunter type thing. So I really enjoy that. And like I keep saying, it's an interesting concept seeing the ninjas being hunted. But it is kind of weird that the city was so quick to turn on them after looking at one little bit of security footage. But overall, I just really love this episode. But yeah, just seeing the ninja get taken down that easily. Come on, man. You guys cannot go out that bad. And also, just one little small thing. How come Ronin can see Cole with thermal visions when Cole is a ghost and ghosts don't have hot or cold body temperatures? Just think about that. Kicking off my top 3 list has got to go to episode 9, Operation Landho. I love this episode mainly because it lets Jay become the leader for once. I mean, he did for like that one episode inside of season 5, which is the worst episode of that season. But I do love the fact that Jay gets to be the leader inside of this episode. He recruits a team, the Ninja Replacements, which is an interesting concept. Again, I said that mainly because if the ninjas are gone, we're going to need replacements. We're going to need a new team to replace them. And I found this team to be quite enjoyable. I found them to do a lot more than the regular team did inside of this entire season. And then he goes inside of the Gen Blade to get everyone out. And it's a perfect rescue mission. And he has one more ninja to save. At the end of this episode, he says we have one more ninja to save, which is Nia. And honestly, Nia stopped being annoying last episode, but I really loved what they did with Jay for this episode. Let him be the leader, let him take charge, gather up a group of friends to just go get his original team back. And that was just such a great extraction episode. My runner-up at number 2 has got to go to episode 10, The Way Back. I love this episode again, just like episode 3, because Jay gets to take charge again, but this time for his original team. So I love that. I love the fact that we got the Sky Pirates finally realizing that Nadakhan is only in this for himself. So they turn on Nadakhan and work with the ninjas. Just a whole lot of things going on. And also, we have a strong message inside of this. If you want something bad enough, you have to make it happen. Nadakhan didn't make the wishes come true because he needed the ninjas. He needed the Sky Pirates for their wishes to come true. And also, just like the Possession finale, this finale seems a lot more cinematic with different camera angles, different zoom ins and zoom outs. And inside of this season, there's a lot of those, a lot of zoom in, zooms out, a lot of different camera movements. So it's really cool and dynamic for this type of show and also for this season in general. I just find the all-powerful Nadakhan, when he can just make his own wishes, kind of weak. He could have easily wiped out the entirety of Ninjago and made Jinjago in his own image. I mean, he's like now the most powerful person on Ninjago. I mean, he can literally destroy Ninjago with his bare hands by just wishing, I want Ninjago to be destroyed. But we have to have some type of showdown between the ninja and the main villain, so I guess that's why they didn't do it. But overall, I found this episode to be very fantastic, with the death at the end, with Nia dying, and after what she did in episode 8 by confessing her love to Jay, just made me really like Nia by the end of the season. I hated her at the beginning, in the middle also, but by the end of the season, I really liked Nia, and it really showed how powerful Jay and Nia's relationship really is, where Jay used his last wish to just reverse time and make this season just disappear. Everything that happened inside of the season just doesn't happen. So it truly was said from the heart. But it has to come in at number 2. I mean, my number 1 just worked better for the characters. But coming in at my number one has got to go to episode 8, The Last Resort. Just everything about this episode works for me, with the characters, with the development of the relationship, everything. Even that awesome lighthouse siege fight just has urgency. It has great things going on. It's just an amazing action set piece, and I wish I had that set. But all in all, I just really love that action set, that action sequence. But overall, with the development of the characters, I just love the fact that we finally get an explanation of why Nia has been acting this certain type of way inside of this season. She just felt as though she was always in the shadow of someone else. First, she was Jay's girlfriend. Then she was Kai's sister. Then when she finally became her own person, the Samurai X, Destiny told her no, and then she had to become the water ninja. So she felt as though that she wanted to write her own destiny, and her destiny was always being chosen for her. So we finally get an explanation of why she's been behaving this certain type of way inside of this entire season. That doesn't excuse her behavior, but I do get a lot more development on her character and what she is thinking. Also, I love the way that she just confesses her love for Jay. It's just them two now. All of the ninja have been captured. The entire team has been captured. So it's just them two now. And I love the fact that she just confesses her love to Jay, that she still loves him. And it clearly shows a big development of her character from where we started in episode 1. And I think that's why I have this episode at number 1, because it made me like Nia again. So it has romance, it has urgency, it has a great action set piece. Everything about this episode I really do love. So it has to come in at number 1. Alright guys, that was it for the ranking. Please know that everything that I did say in this video was just my very own opinion. My list was certainly not the right list, it was just my list, and you are free to comment down below your ranking of all 10 episodes of the Skybound season of Ninjago, right from the worst to the best, just like me, or you could just do your favorite. Please don't forget to join me tomorrow, where I will be ranking all 16 episodes of The Mandalorian. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.